Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Marie McCool. I'm a midfielder for the Brave and also for Team USA. I am so excited to be a part of this dream stream with some amazing athletes today. Welcome to my portion of it. I'm really excited to show you some ways that you can practice drawing to your teammates on the circle. So for my section, all you're going to need is yourself, a ball, and a stick. I have my whistle, so we'll be doing some reaction drills, wrist strength, and more. So let's grab our sticks and get right into it. So for the draw, it is super important to work on our quickness. I think at the younger levels, I see a lot of girls try and use their strength and push the ball as hard as they can, which works sometimes, but in order to really direct where the ball is going and try and get it to ourselves or place it in a certain place, it's all about quickness and getting that ball on the back of your stick so you can pop it up to wherever you want. So first things first, we're going to work on our wrist strength. That's something that I always start all of my draw sessions with, because it is super important, no matter if you take the draw or not, to have really strong wrists. And that's probably not the first time you're going to hear that today, because I know that Taylor Cummings is also working on some other draw techniques. So for those of you who are new right now, here's some wrist strength. For those of you who already did some before, it does not hurt to do more. So let's grab our stick and a ball. The first one we're gonna do is tap in front of us with our stick and then tap behind us. Okay, so one thing I wanna mention, actually a couple things I wanna mention, is my arm is straight the entire time and my body is not moving. We don't wanna use our legs and the rest of our body to help guide our stick, because then we're really taking away the focus from our wrist muscles and not working them as much as we want. So keep that body straight, forward, and back. We're gonna do 5. I like to do 10, but in the interest of time, over and back is 5. I'm gonna do them with you. I lost count. I think this is my 5th. 5. All right, and we're gonna switch hands, because everything we do in our right hand or left hand, we do in the opposite hand. Okay, so now 5 again, over and back. Again, keeping that arm straight, getting that butt end of our stick over our head, tapping the ground in front of us, over and back 5 times. All right, so now we're gonna put it back in the hand that we started in. Same concept, except we're going to the side. So we're tapping to the side, bringing it over our head, tapping to the opposite side. Again, keeping that arm as straight as possible while activating the muscles in my wrists and forearms, so you should really feel that burn. Whew, I already feel it, and I do these exercises every day. Your wrist should be burning if you're doing this properly. So let's switch hands now. 5 over and back. Over and back is 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. All right, let's put it back in our dominant hand to start out with. The next one we're gonna do is we're gonna flip that pancake, all right? So we're gonna toss the ball up, flip the stick like we're flipping a pancake in midair, and then throwing it back up and catching it normal, okay? So arm is out, you're gonna bend that wrist, toss up, flip the stick around, catch the ball, toss back up. So again, notice how straight my body is, and I'm barely using my arm to get that ball up. So we don't want to swing and use our momentum like that. We don't need to throw it super high. It's just a quick dip in the wrist and then snap it up, twist, catch. Dip that stick down, toss up, catch. You should really feel the burn on this if you're doing it right. Okay, so we're doing 5 again. Whoop. All right, let's switch. Same thing. Really tough to do this non-dominant, so I challenge you to perfect this non-dominant outside of this session, because it's a lot harder to get that control. But with lots of practice, you'll be able to do it while also feeling the burn. All right, so that is the last wrist strength one that we are going to do today. Again, I have so many other ones in my pocket that I work on, but in the interest of time, I want to get started with some quick whistle drills. So let's put the stick in our preferred hand that we'd like to take the draw with. I'm going to do righty first, and then I'll show lefty. But this is a drill that I do a lot because, like I mentioned earlier, quickness is super, super, super important when we're taking the draw. So you don't need your ball yet. All you need is your stick and yourself. I have the whistle, so I'm gonna be blowing the whistle. We're gonna get in a nice athletic stance. We want our hand to be as high up on our stick as possible because the higher up it is, the more control we have. If my hand's low and I'm far away from my stick head, I'm not gonna be able to get that good control and pop the ball where I want it to go, okay? I need my hand higher on my stick and close to my stick end. Now I can really be in more control of where I'm popping that ball to. All right, so my session again, we're focusing on directing the ball to our teammates on the circle. So hand at the top of the stick, we're in a nice athletic stance. I like to have one foot forward. I'm gonna put my right foot forward. I do think this is a personal preference. And then this back foot is gonna be about shoulder width apart and a foot behind your top foot, okay? So we're in a nice athletic stance. When I blow the whistle, we are twisting this bottom hand like a motorcycle, okay? And then using that top hand as a guide to also twist. That is getting the ball on the back of your stick. So, so important for when we want to direct the ball, okay? So we're twisting it and then we're driving this bottom hand towards that same knee and popping it up. So it's two motions. It's a twist and a pop, but we're putting it together in one. So I blow the whistle, tweet, twist, pop, reset. Tweet, twist, pop, reset. Okay, so remember, drive that hand back like a motorcycle and then pop it up. All right, are you ready? Good. All right, so now I'm gonna go over lefty real quick. For lefty, it's the same concept, but we're twisting in front now to get that stick, the ball in the back of our stick, and now it's the same thing, driving down with that bottom hand to get the ball out and away towards where we want it to go, okay? So it's twist, pop, twist, pop, twist, pop, twist, pop. All right, we ready? All right, good job. So that was just the basic start. Now, how do we get it where we want it to go, okay? How do we adjust if I want to go forward, if I want to go back, if I wanted to go to the side? When we are trying to make adjustments for where we want the ball to go, this punch here is what's going to determine where it's going, all right? This first movement is always the first movement, no matter what you're trying to do. We need to get that ball on the back of our stick so we can direct where we want it to go. Now, if I want it to go to the side, I'm punching that top hand up to get it over there. If I want to go to in front of me, I'm still twisting, and now I'm just changing the direction of where I'm punching, okay? So the side was twist, pop here. Forward is twist, pop in front. Backwards is twist, punch behind that shoulder, okay? So it's twist, pop, twist, pop, twist, pop, okay? So that was me doing it righty. Same concept lefty though. So we're gonna do this one all together. We're gonna go twist, pop, twist, pop, twist, pop, over that back shoulder. So for this last drill, because I can't believe that we only have a couple minutes left of my segment, I am going to, instead of blowing the whistle, say forward. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna punch forward. I'm gonna say back. You're gonna go over that back shoulder. I'm gonna say side. You're gonna twist and punch to the side, okay? So it's forward, side, back. All right, so you're reacting to whatever I say. Ready? Oh, no whistle. forward. Now reset. Back. Reset. Forward. Reset. Side. Back. Forward. Side. Back. Side. Back. Forward. Forward. Back. Side. All right, so great job, girls. I know that that was a really, really quick drill, and we didn't really even use our ball, but that's because we are focusing on what do we do in the center to get that ball out to the front. So one last drill though, we're gonna do the same thing, but now we're putting the ball in the back of our stick so we can actually feel that top punch going in the direction that we want. So if you have a couple of balls, great. I'm gonna get 2 more right here. If not, we can just chase it, okay? So if I say forward, we're gonna go forward. Pick up a new ball, side, side. Back, back. All right? This is rapid fire. Here we go. Put that ball in the back of your stick. Forward. Reset. Back. Reset. Forward. Reset. Back. Reset. Last one. Side. All right, great, great, great job, girls. Now that was just a couple of really simple drills that we can do on our own that make a huge difference out on the field. So thank you so much again for joining me today. And I'm really, really, really excited about this. And hopefully you all are all staying safe and we'll be able to see you out there on the field soon. So thank you again.
Hey guys, what's up? It is Liz Hogan here from the WPLL Pride. So pumped to be part of this dream stream. Thank you to all of those that are involved and have donated their time and efforts to making this thing become a reality. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to defend the alley shot. So for those of you that don't know what an alley shot or an alley dodge is, it's basically a dodge that's going down the side of the field. Now, not literally on the sideline of the field, right? But if you can imagine like an alleyway going down the outside of, the crease and the 8-meter going straight down north-south. Okay, usually an attacker uses this because, a defender typically wants to defend the middle of the field. So their goal is to attack the top side or the center of the field with full intentions of popping back out and going down the side of the field in that vertical direction. So you can kind of see it here. You'll dodge in and then come out. Okay, so what assumptions are we making? And first I'm going to play this video for you so that you can actually see what's going on of what an alley dodge looks like. Right, so he's going to go in, he's going to attack his defender, come to the outside, and shoot. So a couple of things to note, right? In this video, he is going to attack the middle of the field. You can see that he has his inside hand up. But one thing that's pretty much consistently true for any kind of alley dodge is that you're eventually going to bring it to the outside hand. So you can see right here, he now has it in his left hand, the outside of the field, facing away from the defender, because obviously you can't run down the field in an alley dodge with the inside hand or you'll get checked. Okay, this also means though that they're most likely not going to switch hands unless they switch their hips and try to come off of it and take a step back, right? So you can pretty much guarantee, like unlike other dodges where maybe they have an attacker has an opportunity to switch hands, they're pretty much going to keep their outside hand up. And then because of this, and you can't really see it in this angle, but it actually happens, most shooters are going to shoot across their body back where they come from. So I like to call it the back pipe. Okay, so these are pretty much assumptions. They won't always hold through, but for the most part, these are what's going to happen for an alley dodge and what we can say the majority of the time is going to happen. So let's talk about how do we defend it. And there's a couple set points before I jump into my video, but you're going to stay set. You want to stay behind the shooter, and you want to let your momentum carry you to the open net so that you can be ready at any moment. And I like to think about it in the sense of, you really only have to play half the field. You have to understand what the attacker is looking for, and then you have to be mindful of that in how you play your angles. So for me, this is how I play it. All right, guys, so I'm giving you the shooter's perspective so you can kind of see what I'm doing with my body. Like I said, you're going to stay behind the shooter. So initially, right, the shooter is going to drive towards the center of the field. She or he is going to try to get top side. So you can see they're going to be right in the center of the cage. So I'm going to mirror that. Then as they start going to the outside towards the alley, I'm going to wait for them to get a little bit in front of me. I'm going to match their angle, and then I'm pretty much going to hold here until I know that that backside is not going to be an option. Okay, so they're going to keep going, and then maybe at the very last second, I'll come and cover the front side. The whole time I know that I'm giving up a little bit more of my front side, but that's also because my momentum is carrying me that way, right? If I get too far ahead of the shooter, my momentum's going this way, I have to fight it to come back, and that's most likely where the shooter's going to go. All right, so let's get you guys going to the drills. The first thing you're probably going to think to yourself is these are pretty remedial. In a sense, they are. But, even myself, 30 years old, still grinding it out, I always go back to basics. And when I find when someone really wants to get good at something, it's usually something simple. The point of being a goalie is to stop a ball coming at you. So overthinking it, coming up with crazy drills, is just not something that I believe in. So with that being said, let's hop into our first drill. So the first one, we're just going to walk your arc. And for those of you that don't know what an arc is, it's basically the movement that you take from a pipe to a pipe. Okay, so it's literally how you get there. And it looks like a half moon. Okay, and now there are different types of arcs too. You can play a flat arc, which is basically right here on the center. You can play a high arc, which would be the first red line that I drew, or you can play a mid arc right here, okay? How you choose to play it as a goalie with someone taking an alley dodge really doesn't matter. So the main point here to understand here as a goalie in a position where someone is trying to alley dodge is that they're trying to make this dodge, right? Like they're trying to make it here, come back out, and that's obviously a little exaggerated, but you're only defending half the cage, okay? Once they're on this side of the field, they're not coming back over, okay? Their goal is to go north, south, and go this way. Okay, so when we think about this, we want to think about, kind of like how I said, staying a little bit behind the shooter. But in order to do that, we have to know, without thinking, how to get from this midline to our pipe without really thinking. So one way that we're going to do that is by working on our arc. So the first drill that you'll do, I'm going to erase all this here. The first drill that you'll do is literally just walking your arc. So most people have either a 3-step or a 5-step arc. For this point in case, we're going to just say 5-step because it works out, or 5-spot arc. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off in our first position here, and we're going to take 1 step off. So it'll be in our second spot, our first step off. We're going to hold, and then we're going to go back. Okay, then the next round, we're going to take 2 steps off. So we'll be in our third spot. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. And so if you're taking a 5-position, 4-step arc, you should be center right now. You've taken 2 steps off. You're in your third position. You should be dead center. So check that right then and there. Because remember, we're only concerned with half the field. Once you get out to center, you're going back to your pipe. Once you get to your pipe, you're then going to take 4 steps off, or 3 steps off. You're in your fourth position. So now you'll land here. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you'll come back all the way to here. Okay, and then your last one, you'll take 4 steps for your 5th position, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, guys, so the reason we do this is so that when we are on the field, we don't have to think about our positioning. And I know I did this on a women's lacrosse field marking. I actually prefer to do it without any field markings. I think they're a little bit visually distracting. And also, if you check out that the arm that goes down to the crease on an 8-meter, it's actually supposed to go to the back of the crease, okay? It's not supposed to go to the goal pipes. And I think a lot of goalies get confused, line themselves up to that, when really we should know where we are on the field regardless of the markings on the field. So once you do this drill with your eyes open, it's really important to do it with your eyes closed. And the reason I say that is because every step should be similar, actually identical, because you should be taking the same amount of space every time. And it's really important not to rush through it because you want to be set as a shot comes. I always tell all my goalies, it's better to be set and slightly off angle than it is to be on angle but not set. Okay, because you want to be able to use your ready position in order to explode to the ball, and you can't do that if you're moving. So point of this drill is to 1, get your arc down, Two, if you do it with your eyes closed, you'll have a better sense of, stepping and are they all even. You'll find you're either in the middle of the goal, you're outside the cage, or maybe you've done it perfectly if you're really good with it. When you really want to practice your alley dodge stuff, you'll actually start in the center of the cage. So go in with your eyes open, start center, close your eyes, take one step close to the pipe, one step back, and then do 2 steps, 2 steps. And practice that going both ways. You might find that going to the right is easier than going to the left. You might find that going from your pipe to center is harder than going from the center back to pipe. So really kind of mess around with it and get to know your arc. And really what ideally is you have someone to shoot at you. If you don't have someone to shoot at you, at least someone that can throw a ball at you, preferably overhand, right? Because we want to simulate exactly what the game is. And what you're going to do is you're going to set up, pick the wrong thing there. You're going to set up about 4 or 5 stations going down the alley. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and you're gonna have a bunch of balls here, so you can, have like a pile of like 10 balls or something. It'll be a great workout for the attacker too. But what we're focusing on this is not so much this part of the dodge and recovering, but more so having the shooter literally go up and down, taking different shots. So the first part of this drill, you would just have someone, at station 1, shooting a couple of those, station 2, going to station 3, then finishing off at station 4 with a couple balls. Once you kind of get the sense of it, and you don't want to spend too much time on this because let's be real, you're never going to see a shot after shot after shot in a game in one spot, right? They rotate. Once you get good at this, you're going to tell the shooter to then go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. So they'll get to pick up a ball, quickly shoot, pick up a ball, quickly shoot, pick up a ball, quickly shoot. And what you're really focusing on here is your angle, okay? So for 1 and 2, you might not be changing at all right? You may be set right here. And then for 3 and 4, maybe you're hugging the pipe and you're baiting the backside. But the point of this drill is really to get a better sense of what does the shooter see versus what are you covering. And if you really struggle with this, I would encourage you to have the shooters kind of stand where you're standing and you walk these lines. You see what it looks like as you're going, because sometimes it takes the perspective of what you're actually giving up or taking away for you to understand where you need to stand. And then the final part of this drill would be randomizing. So the shooter can go from 1 to 3 to 4 to 2. Like, they can do whatever they want. Again, to really get you to understand the differences of the angle. And then I would close out this drill by actually going and doing a full couple alley dodges. And make sure you're doing this on both sides too, right? We can't just focus on one side, especially, there's more righties. They like to go on this right side. So really figuring out the angles, if it looks different this way versus this way, especially after you've done the previous drill, you'll know if you're taking larger steps one way or the other, right? So you'll have to compensate for that as you're changing the angle. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. I am passing it forward to the LGBT Bar Association. I strongly encourage you guys to check them out. Happy Pride Month and continue along on this fun journey in the WPLL Dream Stream.
What's up, WPLL Dream Stream? My name is Kylie Omiller. I am an attacker for the WPLL fight, number 17. And my topic for you guys today is dodging, so I'm super excited to get to it. I'm a lefty attacker, so we're gonna work around the crease today. I'm gonna show you a couple of my all-time favorite dodges that you could practice right here in your backyard. So my go-to dodges, all right? We're gonna do them from a different spot than we usually do. We're gonna be down low. I always like to start, I think this is super, super important. Always like to start your dodge behind the cage, not just kind of starting at goal line extended. If you can, if your backyard permits it. So I'm just a little bit behind. I started at an outside cone there. What you're gonna do is you're gonna drive your defender, or your imaginary defender, to the crease every time, okay? So contrary to popular belief, we don't wanna just start out there nice and wide and deep and then just run at our defender, okay? Because then what she has is she's got a nice set stance, okay? And then she can dictate whether she wants to force you underneath or force you topside. She gets to dictate that. We're ultimately the ones who have the ball, so we want to be in control, okay? So what we're gonna do here, you're gonna start out here, all right? All right, you're gonna pretty much, whatever hand you're in, okay, or whatever hand you want to get to, you'll start with the other hand. You're just gonna drive to the crease. Give yourself a little bit of a split dodge just to set up your dodge, set up where you want your defender to go, okay? Regardless of whether we're driving up the side of the 8 or trying to get into the 8. So the first one we're gonna do, we're just gonna work on an inside roll, all right? And with this one, you wanna try and drive into where the 8 would be. So you're kind of driving up, all right? So you're gonna do your split dodge here at the crease. You're gonna drive up. I have some cones here, okay? Most important thing is we're gonna keep our stick in our strong hand here. Now, the way we're gonna get our defender to lean a little bit is by planting our opposite foot. That's the foot that we're gonna plant on, but the rest of our body is gonna lean nice and far forward, okay? So as we lean far forward, the bottom half of our body knows what it's doing, so we're gonna drop that back leg around and box out our defender, okay? But the top half of our body, as we plant that foot, leans forward with a nice big ball fake, stays nice and tall, okay? That gets our defender to kind of fall forward, gives us a little extra room to drop that back leg around, keeping it in between our shoulders and protected. We're gonna come across the crease, faking and finishing, okay? So full speed, it will look a little bit like this, okay? I'm coming up, planting, staying tall, dropping that back leg around, faking and finishing. We're gonna work on another dodge that does the complete opposite of the inside roll. So we're gonna actually fake the inside roll. We're gonna come over the top with a rocker step. Okay, so two spots you can go when you're dodging from back here. You can either go underneath your defender with a face dodge, a roll dodge, a pull dodge, whatever you wanna work on to get underneath. A lot of times when we go underneath, we're working on a really in-tight, tucked shot, okay, because our defender's gonna be right there on our back. When we go over the top with what we're about to do with our rocker step, we're gonna come top side over our girl. That's the other way we can drive. We're gonna work on getting our arms off of our body. A lot of times, maybe even a side arm riser, a low to low, really a bigger shot, bigger follow through, okay? So what you're gonna do, same idea. We always wanna, again, drive our defender to the crease. So we're driving to the crease, a little bit of a split dodge. Now you're gonna drive up the side a little bit more, okay? If you can. If your backyard permits, but you're just gonna plant your feet, okay? Once you get a couple steps up off the crease, planting in this nice base position, okay? So you're acting as if your defender's right here in the letter T with you, perpendicular, okay? Nice base position. You're gonna tell yourself you're gonna pause here for 1 Mississippi, all right? Pause, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the whole entire back side of your body and you're gonna rock it back, okay? You're gonna take this hip, this step, your shoulders, your hands, your head. You're gonna rock back as if you're gonna go for that inside roll, and then you're gonna come over the top for a bigger shot as you come to the middle. So as you go through, driving up, bringing her up, pause, rock, come over the top, big shot, okay? That pause is so important because it gets our defender to go from moving on her toes to stopped in her tracks on her heels, and then she bites on the first move that we do, okay? It's important to really be patient with this one. Make sure you get her to that right spot. Pause, sit in that contact, rock her step back, sell it with everything you got, and then come over the top. Swing that back leg. Bringing her up, pause, rock, and go. Good job, girls. Bring her to the crease, bring her up, pause, rock, over the top. Every time you guys pause, we're turning with the rocker step. We're actually turning our body and shoulders away from the cage. So the first thing we got to get up on the cage is our eyes. Get those eyes up. We can square our shoulders as we come through the top side. Next thing that we're going to do, we're actually going to put both of those dodges together into one of my all-time favorite dodges. So it's kind of a combo dodge. I like to call it the rock and roll. Okay, so all you're going to do is you're going to do the rocker step first that we just did. So you pause, you rocker step. Okay, what happens if our defender stays on us and she stays on this top side? Okay, we want to make sure that she falls into her own bait there. So we're going to keep coming top side a couple steps, and then we're going to plant, sell the top, and roll dodge underneath her. Okay, so it's a combination dodge, but we want to make sure that we don't just do it all in one motion right here, and we don't actually move our steps, because that means that we're not actually moving our defender. Okay, so you want to make sure that you get that separation. Pause. Sell the rocker step like you're really going to take her top side, and then sell the top side and get underneath with that roll dodge. Okay? So it's a rock and a roll. Always start from back here, drag her to where you want her, pause, rock, tuck, and roll. Really, really important to be patient. Make sure we bring her to where we want her. Patient in our rocker step. Get a couple steps, get her to lean forward. Tuck underneath. Again, protect that stick, because our girl's gonna be right there on our back. Next one, we're gonna go again. We're gonna go up the side of the 8. All right, we're gonna kind of initiate contact with our imaginary defender. All right, and then we're gonna pull away, looking like we're gonna feed. Nice shuffling motion, nice base position. My eyes are up on what is going on the field. I wanna make sure that I'm looking for feeds, okay, or making sure that my eyes are up on what my defender is about to do. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna get creative with this one. Okay, a lot of times on the first one, you're gonna shuffle back and then just face dodge underneath your girl. Okay, come across the middle. But no matter what, we're gonna go underneath her, okay? So for this first round, so you come to the crease, bring her to the crease, bring her up the side. Now you're gonna pull away from her pressure with 2 big shuffles. And on the first one, let's face dodge across. So I'm gonna cross that crease, protecting my stick and finishing. All right? Now as you go through your reps, you wanna make sure that you get a little bit more creative as well. Go outside your comfort zone. So as you go, maybe the next one you pull across with a big swooping face dodge, protecting your stick with your body. Maybe the next one you can do a little bit of a toe drag, bring it across with one hand, okay? So we're gonna try out all sorts of different things here, work that creativity, but ultimately you wanna stay nice and big, staying high here with your hands, looking like you're gonna feed, because that's gonna get your defender to come to your stick, okay? And if she comes to your top side, what's open? You're underneath, okay? And that's what we're gonna take. Get her up, get her to where you want her, pull her back, and then under, right through. Thanks for tuning in. Now I'm passing it forward. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay safe and healthy.
Hey guys, it's Amanda Johansson. I graduated from USC in 2016. I currently coach at Hofstra. I play on the Brave, and I am a current training team member on Team USA. Today I'm going to talk about how to win the draw from the wings. So first off, before we get into the drills, the most important part of the draw circle in general is communication. You need to be able to develop communication, maybe some signals or calls to talk with your draw taker as well as the other circle player about the placement of the ball, what she would like you to do, and also communicate what you see as the draw is happening. When the ball is up or the ball is down, you guys need to be able to call whether it's yours or whether you have the box out. Speaking about box outs, that's the other important thing on the draw circle. So being a circle player, being a wing player, your role is to protect your player that's taking the draw. When the ball comes to you, most of the time that's a secondary option. So knowing your role is to protect the girl taking the draw. On the whistle, you must box out. Your box out not only takes that crash and that traffic away from your player that's taking the draw, but it also allows you to create space to see if you're going to run onto that ball and create space for you to jump for that ball. The next thing to talk about is your hand placement. So when I'm waiting on the circle, I like to set up to expect a ground ball, right? So I need to have my hands a little higher, I'm choked up, I have my foot back, that's my box out foot. My box out foot is the foot that's to the inside of my opponent. So if I set myself up like this, my opponent's over here. On the whistle, I'm gonna box out, and if the ball is low, I'm gonna run through the ball with my hands like this. If I box out and the ball is high, you need to be able to do a quick transition from here to go for that ball. So the idea of being able to box and react quickly, whether it's a high ball or a low ball or in front of you, is really important. The next big thing is expecting pressure, and a lot of it. So if you do go through that 50-50 ball, first off, most of the time as you're running through, you're gonna have people going for checks, you're gonna have crashes, you're gonna have double teams. You need to be able to run through the ball, keep your feet moving, keep your head up, and keep that head on a swivel. If you have a double team on, understand that you probably have a teammate that's near you that is open. If you do get the ball and you beat your players, your head's on that swivel and somebody's downfield, hit them, start that fast break. If there isn't anyone open, you have one player that is on you, you don't see anyone in front of you available for that pass, you need to beat that player with speed. So beat her, push that fast break on your own. Pushing the fast break is the next most important thing about draw circle play. So if you do win that draw, make sure that you are aggressive and you're hungry towards that goal. Push that fast break, but then be smart about it. If you beat your girl, if you're running in and you're in a man-up situation, see the field, see the shifting of the defenders, be deceptive, move the ball quick, or go to goal if that lane is there. If you guys are even and there aren't really any great options, don't force it, get into that slow break. The first drill that we're gonna go over today is a box out drill. It uses a resistance band that will allow you to get stronger legs and quicker reaction once that band is taken off. It's super basic. All you have to do is have one resistance band, put it around your ankles. Once it is around your ankles, you're going to set up as if you're on that circle. So like I said before, I like to have my box leg a little bit behind my other leg. You want your hands ready. The best way to do this would be to have a buddy to blow the whistle. However, if you don't have that option, something that I like to do when I'm on my own is to have my cell phone with the pre-recorded whistle blowing. So I would just press play. On the whistle, you're going to box out with that resistance band and then either go for the ground ball or the high ball. I like to switch off each time. So I'm here on the whistle, I'm box, ground ball. The next time I might box, high ball. Okay? Say if the ball's in front of me, I'm gonna box, reach. What this is doing is it's making it a lot tougher. It's putting that resistance on you. The better and the quicker that you can get with that band on, when you take it off, you're gonna really explode towards that ball and your reaction time's gonna be better and your explosive movements are gonna be quicker. So this next drill also works on your reaction time, but it makes you think a little bit more. So if you have 3 different color balls, you want to lay them out kind of close, and you would just take a couple steps behind that ball. So what your buddy would do, who's out here with you, they basically would blow that whistle and they call a ball. So the way this is set up, it works on ground balls only. So on the whistle, you would box and then you run for that color. Let's say on the whistle, they're going to call out yellow. So what I would do here, I hear that whistle, box, I run through yellow and I protect. On that whistle, if they're gonna call white, box, run through white, protect with my head up. The way to do this drill with the high ball would be, you get your hands ready for that high ball, and your other hand, you're gonna have the 3 balls. Your buddy who's blowing the whistle would blow that whistle and would call a color. So say if they call orange, when I throw these up, I'm gonna box out and I'm gonna attack the orange ball and run through it. Running through it not only prevents you from getting hit from all the other balls, but it also mimics getting out of that pressure right away and protecting that stick. So if he or she calls orange, I'm here, box out, toss, orange, and I'm gonna run right through it. If they were to call yellow, box, toss, yellow, run right through. The last drill that I'm going to show you works on your catch or your ground ball and then handling pressure. So your ability to be able to grab that ball and bring it in to protect is really important, as well as running through that ground ball, protecting it and keeping your head on a swivel. You're most likely, like I said earlier, you're going to see that big crash. You need to be able to get around those players, through those opponents, head up, see your player. There might be a time where the minute you catch the ball, you're gonna have 2 players on you. You might throw a BTB to a running player in front of you, or you might be able to just get that easy pass out and start that fast break. So being able to be aware at all times is a strength that you must have as that circle player. So I'm gonna show you how this drill works. Basically, you're gonna start at the front. These 3 cones set up are gonna be your opponents. So if you're gonna do a high ball, on the whistle, it's going to be tossed, you're going to box, you're going to attack, and then you're going to quickly get through your opponents with your head up and your head on a swivel. Same thing for the ground ball. So I'll show you how this works. So I'm here on the whistle, box, attack, head up. I'm here. Okay, so if the ball is on the ground, it's gonna look like this. Besides those drills that I've already showed you, a few different things that you can do to benefit your wing play would be any drill that focuses on wrist strength. There's so many times that as a circle player, you're going to have to make that reach with your hand at the bottom of your stick to secure the ball, as well as bring it in front of you to control it, and then bring it in front of you to protect it. These things involve a lot of wrist and forearm strength, especially when you have to reach in front of you like this to handle the ball. You might have to use your weak hand, your strong hand. You just want to have really strong wrists and really strong forearms. Simple things that you can do for this would just be having catches with your hand at the bottom of your stick. You can work your way up to the bottom. A lot of wall ball. You can go out there with the ball on your stick and you can just cradle up and down. Do big cradles, bring it high, bring it low. Do your stick work, your BTBs, your around the worlds, all with one hand in full extension. There's no point of catching the ball with one hand if your wrist is going to be bent and your arm's going to be bent. When you go for that ball, you want to attack it, full extension. Therefore, you need to have strong wrists and strong forearms. So I hope you guys enjoyed a few drills that I like to do to increase my play on the wings. I hope that all of you guys are staying safe and you're all healthy and you and your families are healthy. I really hope to see everybody on the fields playing lacrosse in no time. But thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you guys all soon.
Hi everyone, what's up? And welcome. Thanks for tuning into the WPLL Dream Stream. I'm Sonia LaMonica, head coach of the Brave defending champs. I'm also head coach of the Towson Women's Lacrosse program and a former member of the Australian national teams. I'm really excited to be with you here today and to be a part of this platform, the WPLL. What a great organization filled with incredible role models and such knowledgeable and great lacrosse players. So what a great opportunity for you to tap in to the minds of some brilliant players a part of this game. I'm today going to share with you a drill. I'm going to share it with you on some films. I'll flip my camera around here shortly and show our Towson team running this drill so that you can sort of see it better than me talking about it or doing it on a whiteboard. I'll first just mention though that it's going to be tough. You're not going to be able to do this drill right now based on probably where you're located with social distancing, but there will come a point where we'll all be able to be back out there and engaged in contact practices and such. So this is a great drill for some larger numbers and again, something that you'll be able to whether you're a coach or a player, get some knowledge out of here today. So the drill itself is a transition build drill. I know it's a really elaborate name, but it's nothing earth-shattering. It's a pretty straightforward drill that starts from a 2v1 and builds all the way up to a 5v4. You also can certainly cater this drill however you need to based on what your goals are and what age group you're working with. So why I like this drill before I sort of get into showing you guys how it runs is I think mostly they're for a number of reasons, but I really like the fact that it helps develop players' anticipation and readiness for the next play because it is a continuous drill and it builds. And it also forces our players to play more instinctually instead of having a set sort of play that we're sort of drilling repeatedly. This one just evolves and it requires players to use their field awareness and anticipation and that ability to play instinctually, which is really what you want and something that I'm looking for. I also like this drill because again of the continuous nature, that it's laboring, it's tiring, and that's great. You want to have some drills where your players get tired but then still need to execute sharp stick work, good stick skills, and as importantly is sort of good decision making. So that's another reason why I really like this drill, outside of it being, you know, up tempo and everybody needing to have a sense of urgency. So let's get started. I'm going to flip this around so you can see my computer screen. This is a, you know, really elaborate setup I've got here. So hopefully you can see my screen okay right here. What I'm going to do is just slowly set this up. So just real quick, the setup. So just to go through that, what we set up is, and again, this drill really, it too is flexible in where you want to run it from. We have run this drill a lot from starting in the critical scoring area, and so it's a little more stationary. But for this instance, we're going to run it from the midfield line. So we're going to get more transition in this, which I really like, and we like to do a lot of transition drills. So we're going to have two lines up, and we've been doing it from the 40-yard line, so just before the midway half field. You're going to have two offensive lines and one D line. You're also going to have your coach up the top there with the balls. So all this is a little off the screen right now and you can't quite see, but hopefully that's pretty straightforward for you. Two offensive lines and one D line between, and then a coach up top there on that line as well with the balls. So how the drills start, and I'm just going to roll this in slow motion so that my voice can keep up with the film. So a ball was rolled out, and then we've got a 2v1 coming in at the cage. So once a goal is scored or save is made or a D makes, you know, a stop, whatever it is, a new ball comes out. And as you can see here, hopefully a ball is rolled out to a different spot. Everybody has to adjust accordingly, and they're playing out this 3v2, sort of coming at the cage maybe from another angle. So here we come with the next group, another ball is rolled out, and a subsequent attack and D are coming in to make that into a 4v3. So as you can see, this is playing out. And after this, then we'll have the last sequence. Once this ball is more or less collected, the defense got this one here, so she's just going to roll it into the cage, and a new ball is being rolled out. And now we've got our last pair coming in, and that is going to make the 5v4. So you can see how this drill sort of develops. And then once they've played through that, they're going to jog out of the drill, and we're going to have a new group entering the field. So here comes the next 2v1. So I'm just playing at regular speed now. So again, the ball can enter in different ways, whatever the coach who's the balls wants to dictate, keeping everyone on their toes. So something else that hopefully you'll notice if you're paying attention to, well, everybody in a sense, but particularly the offense, is the flow and the shifting that's taking place. So part of why I like it coming in from transition is it allows us to sort of come in motion and to flow through that motion, not just to come and run into spots and then stand in, say, shapes based on what the situation is. I also will point out, there's a cage on the field that needed to be moved here, but I also think another sort of important thing to consider if you're a coach is when you're rolling the ball out, not always just giving it an easy ball to the offense. And the reason is, you know, let's make offense earn the possession. That is going to help continue to develop grittiness for your offensive players. Sometimes, you know, we get in the habit of running drills and it starts with the offensive players having possession, but we want to have drills too where we are making sure they're earning those possessions. D is always hungry. They're always chasing the possession. That's just sort of natural in most of the drills that you're going to run, but for offense, sometimes we have to really make a conscious effort to be sure they're earning that possession. So it varies in here. Sometimes the ball is rolling sort of positioned for offense to get it pretty easily, and other times it's more of a 50-50 ball. So just something to consider in terms of how you're creating different situations. And then something else to, as I was saying before, the flow and the movement. So particularly as we get above the 3v2, we want to continue to flow as we, are working the ball, not just standing and catching and passing the ball. So if we just go to the next one, entering in here, just pay attention to how the offensive players really want to make sure they're constantly working to get into, but also maintain open passing lanes. So because the D is going to be shifting and moving, the offense should always be shifting and moving too, not just standing and letting a defender get in that passing lane. Here's a good example of also, as the new play starts or a new ball is entering the field, you'll see that players on offense are rolling back out. So we're regaining space. A really big tendency that happens if it goes unchecked is we get smaller and smaller and smaller, and that just plays into the defense's hands. We want to make sure we're keeping the D slides longer. And because once a play ends, we're smaller, we've got to work hard to sort of bounce back out and move into open passing lanes. So a really important point that I think you're able to simulate and hold your players accountable to in a drill like this, where there's sort of a continuation of play or a new ball that rolls in. For a defense, obviously, they're really key that because you're at a disadvantage here, so we're always working hard to get into passing lanes, projecting our voices and communicating and just being as assertive as possible. Because you're a player down, you got to work harder and you got to move aggressively. So, those are just some of the fundamentals that you can really continue to develop in your defensive players as they're working in this drill. So hopefully you guys, that gives a little bit of insight into a great drill that I love to do a lot, and that hopefully it's something that you can utilize as a player or coach as you continue on your lacrosse journey. I hope you found some value in that. I want to thank you for tuning in. And I also, I plan to donate with everything going on in this nation currently and in the world. I want to continue to be a part of change as a head coach and, a leader. I am challenging myself to be a change leader and to continue to advocate, to continue to learn, and I also plan to donate to Black Lives Matter. I challenge you to continue to learn and continue to be a part of change as well. Again, thank you for joining, and stay safe, and we'll see you out on the field soon.
What's up, Lacrosse World? Hannah Nielsen here, Michigan Women's Lacrosse Head Coach, Team Australia player, and a WPLL Command player. I know we're all missing lacrosse right now and excited to be out on a field to take you through a little progression of feeding that we do at Michigan on Team Australia, that I like to do personally to hone in my feeding skills. So as we talk through the drill here, we're going to get into some really, really key points about feeding. The first one I'm going to talk to you about, even before I start the drill, is just the importance of our vision. Okay, as feeders at the back of the net, you have the ability to see everything. Now, if you're looking at your feet, or you're looking at your stick, or you're looking anywhere else except the middle of the 8, you're missing all the action that's going on. Okay, so I'm going to talk about up through every movement that I do with my feet. Okay? So, first progression of the feeding that we're going to do here is our first cone tells me when to do my split dodge. Okay? I'm going to split and try and dust my defender here. Alright? The first feed that we're going to do is in a perfect world. I've dusted my defender. My hands are free. Someone's streaming down the middle of the 8 and I'm having to feed them the ball. Okay? So nice and long, my split dodge, head always up. Seeing that feed coming across my body. Okay? Now one thing as I go through this whole progression that I want everyone to pay attention to is my feeding form. Alright? I'm not feeding with a big, long follow through. Okay? When people are cutting, you've got a split second, alright, whether they're open or not. So we want to have the ability to come forward towards goal line extended, see that cut coming down the middle of the 8, and be able to rotate my shoulders and punch that ball out of my stick with a really short follow through. Okay, so I'll run through the very first progression again a couple times. Split dodge. See the feed. Okay, head always up. Hit a perfect pass. That ball's in the back of the net. Alright, last time. Now this can be done to the left and to the right, and I highly recommend making sure we alternate, okay, from a very young age to make sure we get our lefty and our righties as perfect as we possibly can. Alright? Split, see the feed, okay, move that ball to the middle of the field. Okay, now, in a perfect world, good defenders are still on my arm at that point. Not in a perfect world. Okay, defenders typically play us out behind the net in college and in high school. Alright, so once we get to goal line extended, that defender's still on my arm. So the ability for me to feed that ball, it's going to get knocked down, intercepted, and it's going to be a bad pass. So when I get to goal line extended now, I'm going to plant hard off my inside foot, get my hands up into feeding position, take a couple of shuffles back to create that distance between you and your defender, and now hit that feed in a backwards motion. Alright, so as I run through the drill at sort of half speed here, everything's the same. I'm going to split, dodge, step back, and then feed the ball with a nice short follow through. Okay, again, paying attention to our eyes. Our cones here are a reference point. We make sure we're not staring down the cones. Doesn't matter if you're perfectly on them, alright, or just near enough. Alright. This one too, pay attention to my body language. Okay, I'm going from a drive where I'm nice and low, and when I step away to feed the ball, my body comes high, my stick comes high, and now I'm ready to feed. Alright, so it's a split, drive, see the pass, and get a perfect pass off to the middle of the field. Alright? Now when you do this, you probably want to do at least 10 reps of each motion. So 10 reps of just running forward and feeding, 10 reps of building up to our back pedal. Alright, we want to make sure when we plant here, we're on a 45-degree angle upfield and our head and our chin comes up. So we're not coming directly back and we're shuffling with our feet. So 10 reps there. Alright? Our next rep. Okay, our third rep that we want to do here is we're going to split. We're going to drive. We're going to shuffle. Okay, our defenders come with us and there's not enough separation for me to feed. Maybe one cut's gone, I couldn't get that one off. I'm going to drive again. I see another cut. I'm kind of pass that ball to the middle of the field. So it's a split dodge to a drive, to a shuffle, to a drive, and we're feeding with our feet moving forward, and we're feeding across our body. Okay? So, split directly at X, drive nice and low, shuffle, drive, feed the ball with that nice small follow through. Okay, one thing again I want you to pay attention to is my eyes are always up. Now, on a higher level, once you get the footwork down of all of the different cones, the more advanced levels, you can have a friend in the middle, your mom, your dad, whoever, calling out numbers, 5, 4, 1, whatever, and so that really challenges you as you're going through all of these motions, okay, to keep your eyes to the middle of the field the whole time and not look at the cone. Alright, so this third progression again. Split, drive, shuffle, drive, feed. Okay? Split, drive, shuffle, drive, feed that ball. Alright? The fourth and final progression. Okay, building it all up. You're coming against one of the best defenders in the country. You haven't been able to shake her yet. They've done a really good job in the middle at covering every cutter, so you haven't been able to see anything. haven't been able to see a feed, still haven't been able to shake my defender. So now we're going to roll back again, getting my chin up, looking at the middle of the field. Now I see a cut coming. I'm feeding in my left hand, short follow through to the middle of the field. All right, so again, split, drive, shuffle, drive, roll away, get your eyes up, hit that feed lefty, hit that feed righty if we're coming the other way. All right, so we're going to split, drive, shuffle, drive, roll away, eyes up, see that feed. And one thing you can work on is the timing of that feed. You might see the feed early, you might see it really late, you might be all the way here and then be able to feed it. Okay, so the timing of that roll away and the feed at the roll away is really, really important. One thing with our roll that I want to just really quickly mention is once I'm going from my drive here, I'm extending my hands out, and the thing that's going to help my whole body turn is my eyes and my chin. So I'm going to rotate my head, okay, before my body even gets there. Now my hips are going back to the end of to the back of the cage, and I'm able to feed that ball. All right. Last time through, putting it all together. All right. So split. Hold up. We all make it safe. Split. Drive. Shuffle. Drive. Roll away. Feed. Right. Now the last thing I'll say is I'm doing all this in sneakers. Anytime you do dodging footwork, anytime you're behind the net, put your cleats on. Get really nice and low, push off your inside feet, get nice and low, change that body height, and you should be good to go. So I hope you enjoyed watching this feeding progression. I'm out of breath. Hope you all continue to stay safe and you can get out on the lacrosse field soon.